Welcome to our SNHU career presentation on salary negotiations. Your experience here at SNHU is important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are any aspects of this presentation that presents any barriers to accessibility, please notify our online accessibility center as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email them at oac@snhu.edu. This video contains closed caption for the hearing impaired. Simply click on the CC button at the bottom of the video, as shown here. This presentation has been compiled by Kathy Montanarella and myself, Sonia Moffitt. I am a career advisor here at SNHU. I'm happy that you've decided to learn about today's topic on salary negotiations. Today's learning objectives are as follows: setting a solid foundation for effective negotiation, salary surveys, research, and budgets, interview to the job offer, appropriate follow-up with an employer during the waiting game, tips and techniques for negotiating your total compensation offer, whether it's a new job or an internal promotion, and making your decision, responding to the employer. Receiving a job offer is one of the most exciting events for job seekers. It means all of your hard work from application to interview has paid off. Career expert Hannah Morgan says you technically cannot negotiate a job offer until after you have received one. She suggests avoiding getting into a detailed salary discussion or attempting to negotiate any condition early in the process. For example, she writes, expressing your desire to work from home during the interview could sour the deal. Therefore, it's not recommended that you engage in salary negotiations until after you have an actual job offer. Receiving a job offer for a new opportunity can also be a stressful time for job seekers, as many people worry over the terms of the offer and whether or not they should take the plunge into negotiating a better deal. But go for it. You have nothing to lose if you handle the negotiation effectively. Let's take a look at the window of time between getting a job offer and making your decision about whether or not to accept that offer. An important point to realize is that the time between step 1 and step 3, right after you receive the job offer, is when you, as the job applicant, have the greatest power and the best opportunity to ask for what you want. Many job seekers feel an overwhelming urge to accept the first job offer they receive, especially if they've been unemployed for a period of time. Some like to just get it over with and get the job, skipping over the step of salary negotiation entirely. The negotiation process is not necessarily a comfortable process to engage in. It's possible that the first offer could be the employer's best offer, but more than likely there is room for negotiation, as long as you understand the rules and overcome some hesitation. Most employers fully expect you to counteroffer from their first offer. In some cases, such as with government agencies, municipal jobs, or teaching roles, salary may not be negotiable. What you see here is an excerpt of the federal government salary chart in 2017, showing pay grades and steps. You might not be able to negotiate salary if pay is structured on a predetermined scale. However, you could advocate for placement on a higher step of the scale based on your experience, training, or advanced degrees. Some companies, usually large corporations, may also have defined salary ranges, but they have more flexibility than a public agency does. It is useful to know in advance if a company has a salary grade structure, and if that is the case, you might be able to find out the pay grade and the salary range for the position for which you are applying. Let's talk about the activities and steps leading up to the job offer. The way you present yourself throughout the application and interview process will significantly impact how successful you'll be in negotiating the terms of the offer. The process starts with making your case through a well-written and persuasive resume and cover letter, and it continues during the interview phase, where you demonstrate your professionalism and your qualifications. Each time you interact with the employer, you are influencing their evaluation of whether or not you are a good fit for their job, a good fit for the work team and the organization. Employers look at new hires as user-friendly problem solvers. So, if you set a foundation that is solid, it will significantly enhance your opportunity to negotiate more favorable terms during the job offer phase. Keep in mind to be friendly and respectful. You will want to do your research. The more you know, the better prepared you'll be to increase or improve the initial offer you've received. Your research will continue to pay off in the salary negotiation process. The more you know about the organization and department that you'll be working with, the more accurately you'll be able to present your fit with the company. This includes presenting creative solutions for any problems or issues that the company is facing. How will your skill set positively impact the company's plans and goals? Are you in sync with the company culture? The employer is looking for a problem solver and an ideal team member who fills a business need and will get along easily with the existing work group. The best way to learn about a company is by talking with someone inside of that organization who has inside knowledge. Whether you're asking for a raise or negotiating salary for a new job offer, you'll want to conduct research on typical salaries for the type of position you're pursuing at the type of company that you're pursuing it within that industry. You can get a sense of this through online salary tools, including Glassdoor, which talks about companies, salaries, the interview process, and more. Payscale.com and Salary.com are also good tools to use. If it's a public organization such as a governmental agency or a public university, you might actually find a salary chart on their website. Another source for typical salaries for the position is to browse job postings for roles with the same job title at similar companies and noting the salaries listed. Whether you are interviewing for a job or seeking a higher salary where you currently work, industry associations are a good source of information. For just about every occupation, there's a professional association that supports the industry. Here is an example of a Google search in which I looked for American Marketing Association salary survey. So in your own searches, either enter a name of a professional association or the industry or field. Clicking through on the first link, I searched for public relations jobs in Boston. Here's what I discovered. Career expert Hannah Morgan suggests to use multiple sources. She mentions talk to recruiters in your field and geography. Network with people who are in your line of work to understand what the going rate is, and then use as many of these options as possible to develop a realistic expectation for your desired salary range. SNHU Connect is a very valuable resource connecting SNHU students and alum with SNHU job seekers. You can also ask others in your field or industry what a typical salary is for someone in the same position. You can also research the alumni on our LinkedIn page. Having a strong professional network and conducting informational interviews with your fellow alumni not only establishes rapport with your cohorts, it is a powerful way to find mentors who can guide you through salary negotiations. If you have a mentor in your field, this would be a great person to ask. You can get the best sense of the market in your industry and for average salaries for positions by people who work in them. These resources also will come in handy if you're looking to negotiate a raise in your current position. Once you have performed your research, the next thing you will want to consider is how sure you are about the value you are bringing to the table. Understanding your value proposition is critical when negotiating salary. Determining your value proposition will require you to reflect on your own personal background and skills to see if you bring something extra to the company, especially if one of your skills can save the company money. For example, if you are a web designer who also has experience with graphic design, you could save the company from hiring a different person or outsourcing to a contractor. If you have a broader range of skills that the company can use and you can demonstrate your value, you could be able to earn yourself a better pay. If you're negotiating a raise, you'll want to provide specific examples of accomplishments benefiting the company. When you receive a job offer, your first instinct may be to immediately accept, especially if you've been searching for a job for a long time. It's really important that you allow yourself time to fully evaluate the offer and open the opportunity to negotiate the terms of the initial offer. Remember, the employer will never ask you to negotiate. Their goal is to hire the best talent at the cheapest price. Your goal is to be offered the highest salary. So negotiate with confidence and respectfully. Creating the opportunity to negotiate rests entirely on you. Your request for time to think over the offer will create that opportunity. It will also give you a moment to pause, evaluate the written offer, and strategize your response. If the initial offer is significantly lower than you anticipated based on your research of the current market value for that job in that industry and in that region, it's good to give a brief and polite indication that the offer is low. This will prepare the employer for your forthcoming negotiations. Request the written offer and a benefits summary. This is true whether you're applying as a new employee or an existing one. Written offers allow you to fully consider the total compensation package. You want to ask, whom should you speak with if you have questions about the benefits package? It's likely human resources. Even if the direct supervisor for the position gave you the offer letter, it might make more sense to speak with someone in HR if you have a question about your benefits package. Talk with the employer about the time frame in which they'll need an answer from you. You want to give yourself enough time while being considerate of their timeline as you navigate the negotiation process. Your next step is to review the offer and benefits package and come up with a list of questions or any concerns that you have about it. You'll want to prioritize these questions and have them ready when you call back the person who gave you the offer. We'll discuss how to evaluate job offers in more detail later in this webinar. Some job applicants are nervous to negotiate their job offer or even ask for a raise. Here are some reasons why. Now, when you take a step back and think about the salary negotiation process, we find that these fears are largely unfounded. A professional approach to the negotiation process that is built on solid research and preparation will result in your ability to effectively improve upon your job offer that is presented to you. It's time to understand the other dynamics of negotiating compensation in addition to your base salary. The next point is really important. There is a rule in negotiations that the first person to mention a number loses. So with this in mind, the key point in this webinar is don't reveal your salary information or expectations prematurely. You don't want to raise the topic of salary first, and if they bring it up, defer the discussion until a later time. We'll talk about some specific strategies to avoid premature discussion of salary in the next few slides. It is important for you to focus on the value you bring to that employer based on their needs and requirements. Remember, you are the employer's problem solver. The solutions you have to offer through your capabilities and qualifications are many. Here are a few suggestions on how to respond to a request for salary information during the application process. Sometimes employers will request your salary history, what you've been paid in the past. An important note is that you are not required to disclose this information. In fact, several states have passed laws prohibiting an employer for asking for your salary history. Strive to continually focus any discussion of salary on the market value of the position and why you are the ideal fit for the job and organization. If an employer presses you for the details of your salary history, you'll want to get across the point that your past earnings aren't a good benchmark for your next salary. You could say something such as, I am targeting opportunities in the 50s or 60s based on my market research. Does that work well with your salary range for this position? Or you could say something like this. I'm confident that when you've determined that I'm the best candidate for this position, I'm sure that we can agree on an appropriate compensation. And finally, you could say something like, my expectation is that I'm paid fairly for the level of my experience, knowledge, skills, and degree. One way to avoid giving an answer right away is to respond that you'd like to learn more about the position and its responsibilities and requirements before stating a salary expectation. Since the interviewer brought it up, ask what they have in mind. You want to try to defer the discussion until you've sold yourself as the candidate that they want to hire so that your negotiating power is greater. However, many employers won't like this approach and may press you for a number. So have a number or a range prepared in advance through your research. Another answer is to say you will be evaluating the total compensation package, including the value of the benefits and all of the other factors involved in the compensation package. Talk in terms of your interest in the role and what value you'll bring to the company. Show confidence that an agreement on salary will be doable. And finally, if pressed to name a figure, answer in terms of a range and not a specific figure. You can also talk about placement within the salary range. For example, you might say your expectation is to start close to the midpoint of their salary range. When it gets to the point where an employer provides you with a specific salary amount, you can continue to express your interest in the position, but refrain from agreeing to the salary right away. Make sure that the compensation is consistent with the fair market value of the position. The following tips are useful to consider whether you're coming into a brand new negotiation for a new position or if you're talking with your boss about your next raise. Do your research so you can talk intelligently about the salary range for the position. Have a great attitude. You want to remain positive, respectful, and have a professional conversation. Refrain from mentioning your personal finances during the negotiation. You want to aim high, but be willing to work toward a middle ground. Make the employer feel like they win as well. For example, suggest a mid-year salary adjustment. And for experienced hires, discuss ways you have improved efficiency of work processes, changes that you've made resulting in sales growth or customer retention. Mention tough relationships or situations that you've mended or improved. And then be a user-friendly employee, reducing drama or conflict in a team. Other principles that will guide you to success in your salary negotiations include suggest solutions with regards to benefits, bonuses, and raises in an effort to work toward the middle ground. Reiterate your education, qualifications, experience, and skills to continue selling yourself all the way through the process. Be sure to use ranges or generalities to discuss your salary history, unless you're negotiating a raise. Show confidence by speaking in a firm voice and by maintaining eye contact. Keep in mind, if you don't believe in you, why would the employer? And finally, be aware of other ways that your body language can have an impact. Here are a few things that are important to avoid during the salary negotiations. Being the first one to name a salary figure, accepting the first offer just to get it over with, being pushy or doing most of the talking, standing firm on an amount without creative solutions to consider, or walking away too quickly from a low offer, apologizing for lack of experience, and then taking too long to get back with the employer on your decision. Now that you've had the opportunity to do your research and consider your value proposition, it's time to make a decision. As you can see here, the rate of pay is not the only item to consider when negotiating a compensation package. The full range of benefits may impact your quality of life. These things are equally important. We spend so much of our time physically, mentally, and emotionally invested in our work. Many aspects of the total compensation package will directly impact your level of happiness on a professional and personal level. Make sure that you're considering all aspects of the job when you're navigating the negotiation process. For example, different organizations subsidize different percentages of an employee's health plan cost. So find out what your out-of-pocket cost for health and dental insurance is monthly and what the deductible limits are. This can make a huge difference in your take-home pay. The items noted here are additional aspects to consider that often don't remain top of mind when we're negotiating salary. However, they may be important to you and often available for negotiation. The key is to determine what's important to you. Some people are happy to receive one offer, but what happens when you receive more than one? For experienced employees searching for a new job, receiving more than one offer is a great problem to have. But comparing offers and deciding which is the best one for you can be challenging. In this case, you want to create a worksheet that can help you consider all factors before you decide. Looking at the whole job offer package, not just the base pay, can help you reach the right decision. This compensation and benefits worksheet can help you thoroughly analyze the real differences between the financials associated with multiple job offers side by side. If you really want to work for one company but its salary falls short, say so. But keep the negotiations positive and be diplomatic. You want to avoid telling a hiring manager, this company over here is willing to pay me $5,000 more than what you offered. Instead, ask your top choice, is there any movement possible on the base pay or the vacation? You may even want to ask, would you be willing to review my salary in 6 months after I meet your goals? Once you've had an opportunity to prove yourself. Even though you're nervous, never ignore calls from the employer and let them know if you're considering other opportunities. You can say, I want to be honest that I'm evaluating another opportunity at this time. That can actually help move things along a little more quickly with regards to salary negotiations, especially if that company is your preferred choice. You can ask for more time to think about an offer and then follow through. But once you've made your decision and accepted an offer, don't change your mind. As for the other company's offer, express appreciation, thank that hiring manager for their offer, and let them know that you'd like to keep in touch in the future. In conclusion, getting the job offer is an exciting moment after the stress of multiple interviews. It is an honor to be selected as the company's top choice, particularly if you've been on the job market for a long time. Landing your dream job can evoke a sense of immediate loyalty to a company out of gratitude for that offer. However, resist the urge to say yes right away and give yourself time to review the offer and negotiate better terms that will enhance the fulfillment of accepting the job, creating a win for both you and your new employer. Thank you for joining us for salary negotiations. We understand that this is a brief presentation and you may have further questions after watching it. Our career team is here to help you. If you do have any questions regarding today's presentation, drop in on the lunch bunch every Friday from 12 to 1 either Eastern or Pacific time. During the sessions, you can also download supplemental documents. Click the link below during either of those time frames to enter the Q&A session. If you need more immediate assistance, feel free to reach out to our dedicated team of career advisors to schedule a one-on-one career consultation. Our team can assist you with everything from your resume, cover letter, mock interviews, to the job search itself. Call or email us today.